Alright, every people, so if you've been following these reviews, then you'll know the next episode is, of course, Flashbang Wallop. And I can say right now, it's an improvement after last episode. Big improvement. But that doesn't mean that it wasn't good or anything, because it wasn't. Probably the biggest difference in this episode that it wasn't written by Sharon Miller, so thank heavenly Jesus. So when I first discovered it wasn't written by Sharon, I hoped it would be somewhat decent, but then of course there's the old cliche where you think something is going to happen, but then it doesn't. God, do our lives suck. It's basically, where was I going with this? Oh, right, another episode named after, of all things, a sound effect. How original. I mean, why not just do an episode named Bang Bang Blame Blame, or Zang Zadam, actually, I think they did an episode similarly like that back in season 5. What was it called? All right. Sheep! Or was it moo or something, but you know the joke. So as soon as the episode started, and I have to say, for the most part, it actually does start off okay. I mean, of course, we're given the same exposition every beginning of the episode, or every episode beginning, if you want to put it, sorry, about the engines all being, really useful, or the island is a very special place, and blah, blah, blah. But then, I will have to agree with everyone, the addition of the Great Railways book, that was actually a really nice touch. To see, like, other mainland engines, if they put it like that way. Yeah, it was actually a really nice touch, like getting to see, like, the city of Truro again, and so yeah, I thought the Great Railways book, that was a nice touch. I'll give him a point for that, and but then of course it follows the formula of the photographer coming to Sodor to take pictures of all the engines. Although I will have to say that is actually a pretty interesting contraption that the photographer is standing on while he's trying to take Percy's photo of that contraption on the tracks. I forget what it's called. Somebody tell me. But yeah, that was an actually interesting contraption. So I will give it that. So yeah, for the most part, this episode actually did start off okay. But then, of course, before it actually happens, I can already tell Thomas is going to be a camera hog. Even more so than he already is. I mean, he hasn't even left the shed yet, and I know what's going to happen. And of course, it's what you think it is. Thomas, he tries to be in every single one of these pictures, and further exemplify how he's nothing more than just a camera hog. And also, yeah, Thomas causing all those accidents, like Percy crashing into the coal and James smashing into the buffers. Thomas surprising all the engines. Bullshit. Those accidents would have happened regardless if Thomas was there or not. I mean, even if Thomas wasn't there, those accidents, they were inevitable due to idiot signalmen. Wait, there were signalmen? What am I saying? It's like, of course, there are no real signalmen anymore. Everything is controlled by the engines alone, and the humans are just their hands now. Yeah. God, I sounded like Phalus there for a minute. But, yeah, like I said, even if Thomas didn't quote-unquote surprise all the engines, those accidents would have happened anyway. I mean, like, the points were all against them, and, like I said, even if Thomas wasn't there, he would have been. They would have been. You know where I'm going with this. But I will say the crashes are pretty cool. Why am I so enticed by the crashes? As like I have a fetish for them or something. And then of course, it ends up in disaster, and of course, the always classic cliche. It's like, oh wait, I actually do have another camera, but it's by the docks. There's no time to get it. Why didn't you bring it with you if you knew this was gonna happen? Proper planning is what you need, people. Because pretty much as soon as you step on this island, you've just written your own gravestone, man. Things are gonna get fucked up. I'll at least say that the lighting and the animation during like the sunset portion, like when Thomas returns back to the sheds, I will admit that did look nice. But then, of course, it all leads up to a very bullshit payoff. Because of Thomas's idiocy, or lack thereof, the photographer's camera is smashed, and there's no more pictures of them left. And, of course, Thomas wanted to be in, quote-unquote, all of them, and of course, pretty much, having destroyed all the other photos, he still gets what he wants. He gets his own picture on the front cover. And, yeah, that's a great punishment there, Fat Controller. I mean, Thomas basically destroyed every single bit of the photographer's work, and you basically just give Thomas what he wants. Dumbass. So, all in all, overall, Flashbang Wallop, okay, it's not really as bad as any Sharon Miller episode, but it's still, honestly, it's still not that good. It still somewhat follows the same formula of any episode starring Thomas the Egocentric Engine. And also, actually it's not just Thomas, all the engines are egocentric. And my friend Jimmy pointed this out. All the engines are going to say, oh, I'm going to have the most photographs, I'm going to have the most photographs. And, but regardless, Thomas, he basically wants everything to be about him and nothing more, which is, you know where I'm going with this. And, I guess Flashbang Wallop was sort of, I guess if you want to call it this, Thomas's revenge for what happened in Thomas and the Billboard when a diesel moved right in front of him and he didn't get purchased on the billboard. It's like in Thomas and the Billboard, he's like, I'm not on the billboard. I shall have my vengeance one day. And come Flashbang Wallop, and my revenge is complete! I destroyed everything, and I still get what I want! Yay! Stupid. So yeah, Thomas, he basically ruins everything, yet he still gets what he wants. What a great lesson to teach kids. If you just whine and scream and basically break everything known to existence and act like a little bitch or a little dick, you'll still get what you want. I mean, I'm sure that worked for maybe Rarity in that one episode with the Diamond Dogs. Basically, I can get whatever I want by just whining and complaining! Let me go! Oh, his wallet is too tight! And, yeah, I know, big shock, I'm now a brony. Are you really surprised? I know some of you see my favorites. But I will say this about the episode, at least there are a few scenes that, are a little reminiscent from the classic seasons. I'll give it that. If you might know what I'm talking about, I think. The crash with Percy and the coal and all that stuff, and lifting James back onto the rails like Thomas and the Breakdown Train, but whatever. So overall, Flashbang Wallop, despite it being written by somebody else, it's still really not that good. But again, it's not terrible. I thought it was it still somewhat follows the same formula we've seen a million times before with Thomas, and somewhat three strikes are out, and with him being the star biller that he is. So yeah, Flashbang Wallop, it's not terrible, but it's not really that good. It's yeah. So like a 2.5 out of 5 for me. Oh, and somebody pointed out that I didn't give a rating on my last review of Ho Ho Snowman. like a 0.1 out of 5 for me. Sorry about that. Because shut up, watch. So anyway, that's my views on Flashbang Wallop. Next is Thomas and the Rubbish Train. Oh boy. So at least Flashbang Wallop was an improvement. Not by much, but it was a little better. Not by much, but a little bit. So anyway, those are my thoughts. I'll see you next time. Later.